so this is how you win at Limited. I already have 2 rings, so let's show you how I built my team. First of all, the first player you want is Brisbane. Here's the reason. He will guard your best player. He will guard the opposing team's best player. His defense is insane. I believe he has a decent, almost field 78, and he has gold clamps. He's going to be your defensive mastermind who can hit threes. At shooting guard, you're going to have to use Nick Anderson. Now, I would not suggest using your best player at shooting guard or smart forward because these 2 guys are pretty much better than anything you can use. And I don't think you really want to run your offense through a small forward. At power forward, actually, you would say, oh, Brian Scalabrine or any of those, budget power forwards. I actually ran with Trevor Ariza. He's a good shooter. He's a good dunker. He has a great release, and he has clamps, along with catch and shoot. He's a very good player for power forward. At center, you could say use your best player at center. I did try out David Robinson. He did work out pretty well. You could say I also tried out Tim Duncan. He worked out pretty decent. But yet again, your best player, you're going to run your offense through them. So I personally would use Porzingis at center. He's 7'3". He can play defense. He's a decent enough shooter, especially on this generation. And now at point guard, this one's rough because you can go either an insane offensive player in Steph Curry. You could go a good slasher like Terry Rozier, which I actually like using, but I decided to go with Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, he has clamps yet again. Defense is important because, there's not going to be a lot of players with clamps on this. So defense is very important. For the bench, I went with Steph Curry. He's a very good shooter. He has range. He's going to help out a lot. At shooting guard, I went with Rex Chapman. Or you can go with another person named Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's a very good shooter, very good defender. Now, it all depends on what you want. If you want a good shooter, just a purely good offensive player, take Rex Chapman. If you want just a pure defensive player, take Klay Thompson. I'm going to take Klay just for defense. At small forward, you could choose between pretty much any small forward. There's a lot of goods. Reggie Williams is really good. He's a decent shooter. He can dunk. He can play defense. Paul Pressey is just a purely good defensive player. That's all he does. He can drive to the basket, but he's mainly good at defense. I actually ran Gerald Green. He's 6'7". He has quick first step. He has good dunk. He has a decent jump shot. He's pretty fast. But for this occasion, since we're focusing on defense, I'm going to run with Andrew Wiggins because he has clamps. At the backup power forward, yet again, you could say if you want a spot-up shooter, Brian Scalabrine works wonderful. But I'm going to take Jeff Green. Yet again, another good defensive player with clamps. He has quick first step, and he should be able to take other power forwards off the dribble. He plays much better than his overall. And for backup center, I decided to go with Joel Embiid. Now, you could go with Karl Anthony Towns. He does work perfectly. You could go with Rafe LaFrance, Andrea Bargnani. Those would be definitely better than Joel. But I'm taking Joel because he's a slightly better defender than Mr. Rafe LaFrance. He's a better defender than Kat and Nikola Jokic. He's not as good defensively as Andrea Bargnani, but he's kind of on his level. And I don't really want my center to be a guy who shoots. As you can see, Joel Embiid only has 4.2 points. I want him to be primarily a rebounder. As you can see, getting around 6 to 7 rebounds a game with a few blocks. That's all I want for my center. Now, for the rest players, you can use players that, you can just use just in case. I put in, because I don't have any bronzes or silver, so I put Gerald Green. I also put, who else can I put? Kerry Kittles is really good. I'll put Rex Chapman in because he's really good as well. And finally, actually, you know what? Now it's time to put in our best player. Now, who should your best player be? Now, Sam Jones. Let's talk about him. A shooting guard, bad idea because, I kind of don't want Nick Anderson or Bruce Bowen guarding him. He's pretty good. He doesn't have insane dribble moves. But I'm looking at Lillard. If you guys, I'm going to release a few gameplays. Lillard is insane on this generation. Lillard may be the best player offensively in the game. Let's look at his stats. Let's just play Lillard. Replace him with Curry. Curry's going to be one of the guys one of the last 3 guys. Just in case they're just there just in case I need some extra offense. Because as you notice, the team is very good defensively, but offensively, it's missing a few pieces. So, having Gerald Green, Rex Chapman, and Steph just helps out. But let's look at Lillard. Let's look at how good he is for me. I've only played the limited and unlimited with him. 17.8 points, 3.3 assists, 2.3 rebounds, He does take a lot of shots. He takes nearly 10 threes a game and hits around 40% of them. But hey, 40% from 3 while taking around 10 to 15 attempts. That's 9.2. Those are the games that I played completely. The rage quits, I've taken 25 to 33s with Lillard, and I've made 12 of them. Lillard is my primary source of offense. He will normally score around 30 points a game, and that's kind of what I need from him, because you can see there's not many players on my team that can create offense like Lillard, and that's what I want. I want him to draw attention, draw double teams, pretty much just be the main focus on offense, so that when there's cracks on the defense, I can just pass it to someone like Nick Anderson, Bruce Bowen, Trevor Ariza. Hell, even Porzingis in this game can hit a couple threes. He is not bad at all. Like, let's look at his three-point percentage. Like, yeah, 1.5. Like, he's pretty good. Same thing with Joel. He's not going to be shooting that many threes a game, but if he's wide open, I'm going to shoot with him. That's the thing. Like, if you want off the bench, you should play. I'm actually going to move this, because Rex Chapman is going to be your primary ball handler off the bench. Now, if you do want to run Rex Chapman with someone like Tom Gugliotta, that's on you. If you want to run that dynamic duo, that's on you. I wouldn't. I would run with a point guard as your best player. Now, there's a lot of much better point guards. Let's see, you could run, let me just prove that I've won limited. Yeah, I have 2 rings already. John Stockton is a much better player than Lillard for limited. John Stockton can play defense. He can drive to the basket better, in my opinion. He has a better jump now. He doesn't have a better jump shot, but he's a really good shooter. He's vastly superior on defense, but you need to badge him up. Deron Williams is another player who is, I think, better than Lillard once he's badged up. Steph Curry is the best player. Not this Steph Curry. Pink Diamond Steph Curry would be the best player to run for this lineup. And if you want to run, like, let's say if you want to run Curry, if you want just Curry and you don't want to use a point guard as your best player, that's fine. A lot of people do that. Let me just put Terry Rozier in. If you have him, Blake Griffin at center could be the best option, because as you can see, I have Porzingis, and I don't think Porzingis can guard Blake Griffin, so Blake Griffin could be the best option. With that said, I probably will put Bruce Bowen on Blake if I ever have to play against him, but that's just me. Like, there are so many things you could do with this lineup. And by the way, I've noticed, the less overall, the better. Like, you don't want to play against people with Pink Diamond Steph. Like, I've played against Pink Diamond Steph twice. He cooked me. I still ended up winning because he really could not create offense outside of Steph. But yet again, it's very difficult to play against that. So yeah, it's pretty much it. If you guys know any players you could use, by the way, Tim Duncan, I wanted to use him for limited, but he's just not good. Or if you want to just run a purely defensive point guard, you can just run a Richie Guerin or somebody like that, a good defensive guard. That could be good too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.